Good afternoon, and thank you for taking part in the National Kickoff webinar for Crash Responder Safety Week. The webinar will commence in a moment. I'm Vaishali Shah, Senior Director of Transportation Systems with AEM Corporation and support staff to the Federal Highway Administration's Traffic Incident Management Program. The webinar is also supported by Kevin Vita with the National Operations Center of Excellence. For this webinar, all participant lines have been muted. Please note that while we will not be supporting question and answer for this webinar, feel free to reach out to the FHWA TIM program with questions. Their contact information will be made available in the chat momentarily. Next slide. Towards the close of this webinar, participants will have the opportunity to sign the online National Crash Responder Safety Week proclamation using the Menti link provided here. We'll also put that link in the chat box momentarily, or you can use the QR code on the slide. Please take a moment to access Menti and share from what part of the nation you are joining us. Next slide. Take a moment also to review the FHWA disclaimer, which explains that the contents of this presentation are intended only to provide information. The U.S. government does not endorse products or manufacturers, and trademarks or manufacturers' names are not intended to reflect a preference, approval, or endorsement of any product or entity. And the views expressed in this presentation are the presenters and do not necessarily reflect those of FHWA or the U.S. Department of Transportation. Next, please. The webinar is hosted by Mark Kehrli, Director of the Office of Transportation Operations. In this capacity, Mark is responsible for developing and executing national policies and program initiatives to facilitate the safe and efficient operation of the Surface Transportation Program. Mark oversees the Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices, traffic incidents, and events management, and other operational programs. Prior to his appointment, Mark served as the Federal Highway Administration Division Administrator and Associate Division Administrator in the District of Columbia between 2003 and 2010. With that, let the webinar begin. Over to you, Mark.
Thank you, Vaishali. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my sincere privilege to welcome our traffic incident response community to the 2025 Crash Responder Safety Week National Kickoff webinar. This is year 10 for this important Federal Highway Administration sponsored initiative. Supported by our USDOT modal partners, the Traffic Incident Management Executive Leadership Group, and the Crash Responder Safety Planning Community. Before I go any further, I just want to say I just left the National Traffic Incident Management Executive Leadership Group. They're meeting downstairs. It's a wonderful group, and the meeting's going well. Crash Responder Safety Week is a week where we all can focus our collective voices on safety of traffic incident responders and through their efforts, the safety of all road users. We hold the National Kickoff webinar each year to rally our responder community to engage in promoting CRSW within our ranks, our leadership, and our government elected officials, and among the public at large. We will begin today with a message from FHWA Administrator Sean McMaster. We will also feature responders from our practitioners that each will touch upon key messages and resources from this week, the personnel and economic toll of responders struck by incidents, and the importance of traffic incident management. We will close by inviting every traffic incident management champion to sign the National Crash Responder Safety Week proclamation. Our opening message is from Sean McMaster, the FHWA Administrator at the U.S. Department of Transportation. Administrator McMaster has more than 2 decades of public and private sector experience in government and transportation policy, previously serving at USDOT at both the Deputy Chief of Staff and the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Congressional Affairs. Administrator McMaster spoke in person this morning at the U.S. DOT headquarters with Deputy Secretary of Transportation Stephen Bradbury and others to commemorate Crash Responder Safety Week. For our webinar, he shares both a message and a call to action.
This week, we observe the 10th anniversary of Crash Responder Safety Week, an important time to honor our courageous law enforcement officers, firefighters, EMS, State Department of Transportation and Public Works staff, and towing and recovery operators. It is also an opportunity to remember those who died while responding to roadway crashes and incidents. We extend a special thank you to the members of the National Traffic Incident Management Executive Leadership Group. You have not only carried the banner for Crash Responder Safety Week for the past 10 years, but you have worked since 2012 through each member's unique sphere of influence to make the Executive Leadership Group's mission a reality throughout the nation. And thank you to the entire TIM responder community. You're helping to change the way the nation views incident management. You improve the safety and reliability of our roadways for everyone, especially incident responders, by developing and implementing programs that reflect the TIM National Unified Goal. Under Secretary Duffy's leadership, the Department of Transportation is committed to getting back to basics. That means making safety our top priority. The goal of Crash Responder Safety Week is to remind drivers of the critical role all road users play in keeping crash responders safe. That's why this year's theme is Safety Starts With You. Slow down and move over. But as we all know, focusing on crash responder safety for just 1 week isn't enough. We must do everything we can to help save lives every day, all year long. Every person on the webinar is a traffic incident management champion. We must use our positions to make our voices heard. Earlier today, I participated in the kickoff for Crash Responder Safety Week and added my name to the National Crash Responder Safety Week proclamation. It's a reminder that day in and day out, crash responders put their lives on the line to protect us. Sadly, the price they pay is immense. Over the past 5.5 years, we have lost more than 300 first responders in the line of duty, including law enforcement, fire personnel, EMS, and tow operators. And tragically, those numbers could increase before the end of 2025. In addition to emergency responder deaths, there were 899 work zone fatalities in 2023 alone. Further, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates that more than 17,000 people lost their lives in motor vehicle crashes from January through June 2025. These aren't just numbers. There are family members, co-workers, neighbors, and friends. That's why Secretary Duffy launched the Safe Roads Initiative. This nationwide roadway safety initiative focuses on investments that improve mobility and safety on non-freeway arterial roads, which is where more than half of U.S. roadway deaths occur. FHWA is continuing to invest in enhanced preparedness and training for crash responders, including supporting strong state and local TIM committees, promoting better data collection and analysis regarding responder injuries and deaths, using data to develop better safety countermeasures, and working with responder stakeholders to encourage performance-driven safety practices, advance safety culture during incident responses, and advocate for the deployment of innovative safety countermeasures. We launched the National Traffic Incident Management Responder Training in 2012, and we applaud the over 800,000 crash responders who have already completed it. That is a phenomenal achievement. Today, I announced a call to action to help us reach the milestone of 1 million responders trained. This training is free and available online at fhwa.dot.gov or in person through each state's traffic incident management training contact. To everyone who has already completed it, thank you. Now I encourage you to spread the word and help us reach our goal of 1 million trained responders. At the FHWA, we are committed to working with all crash responders to reduce the number of injuries and deaths on our nation's roads. I know that we can achieve this if we remember that safety starts with all of us. Thank you.
What an impactful message from Administrator McMaster. I want to highlight 3 items he touched upon. First, the goal. First is a call of action to train 1 million responders. How do we get from 800,000 to 1 million? How quickly can we make that happen? In the past, we've trained 60,000 responders a year. The biggest training gains have happened when states make TIM training a standard. This includes Georgia, Texas, Kentucky, Connecticut, Alaska, Florida, where state law enforcement, fire, or EMS complete the TIM training as part of an accreditation or initial certification. Let's challenge ourselves to accelerate the TIM trained responder workforce. Can we reach the 1 million training goal by next year's Crash Responder Safety Week? The second message from Administrator McMaster. He touched upon innovative safety countermeasures. This includes technologies such as debris removal systems, unmanned aerial systems for crash reconstruction and situational awareness, video and computer-aided dispatch, real-time data sharing, responder to vehicle alert systems, and smart emergency vehicle lighting, to name a few. Visit the link shared in the chat pod for more information on these or other innovative safety countermeasures. The third was the focus on better data collection and analysis regarding responder injuries and deaths. FHWA published in 2024 the report, An Assessment of Data Sources for First Responders Struck by Crashes. This report assessed data sources and compiled existing data to review gaps and proposed a data collection strategy that will start to quantify the occurrence of responders struck by crashes. Collecting responders struck by data will require response entities to work together, and you will hear more about this later in the video. This morning, Administrator McMaster and others signed the National CRSW proclamation you see here. Take a moment to review this proclamation, which reflects this 10-year anniversary for Crash Responder Safety Week and our commitment to jointly improve safety across all road users, and specifically those who knowingly put themselves in harm's way. Our next speaker will highlight how we can use Crash Responder Safety Week to jointly improve safety across all road users, and specifically those who knowingly put themselves in harm's way.
Thank you.
Jim Ostrich, in the FHWA Office of Transportation Operations, he's a Traffic Incident Management Program Manager. Jim is a national leader in transportation systems, emergency management, emergency management operation, and is a champion helping institutionalize incident responder training. He has also been the man behind Crash Responder Safety Week in its inception in 2016 to the 10th year. Over to you, Jim.
Thank you, Mark, and welcome to all our listeners, participants today. This day marks the beginning of our 10th year anniversary, Crash Responder Safety Week, as you heard Mark mention, and it's just been phenomenal. The participation today from the executive leadership group that are here with us today. Many part of this planning committee that you see here that we collaborate with every year leading up to this special week. We also have enjoyed a wonderful participation today from the National Capital Region of Maryland, DC, Virginia, Pennsylvania, response communities showcasing their vehicles, and I can't say enough of how important it is. It's very humbling for me personally, and I'm sure all of you as well. You play a vital role and a big part in this world of traffic incident management and everything that goes along with it. So, next slide. Thank you, Vishali. So you can see here, this is the themes for the week. Of course, the primary being safety starts with you, slow down and move over. So today's webinar kicks things off. And we proceed tomorrow with driver education, of course, responder training on Wednesday. Thursday, it's more than a crash. And then back to slow down, move over on Friday. All of these play a key role, if you will, to help you, states, and any of our uh, stakeholders, if you will, that are participating with us this year. And there are many. I don't know what the number is right now in terms of the number of proclamations, for example. We'll know that here in the coming days. And also not only governor proclamations, but also mayoral and even Public Safety Association, metropolitan planning organizations, and others that have taken the time to commemorate and honor our responder community. Next slide. So again, Monday, right? Today is the kickoff. Here you see that we are very much engaged with our, and you should be too, with your communications information officers, public affairs officers, uh, public information officers that specialize in marketing and public education and outreach, social media, and there's a plethora of methods that states, DOTs, and public safety and the different organizations um, use to market and wave the flag of success, and most importantly, honoring our responder community at large. Next slide. Here's the map of last year's proclamations, a total of 22. And so far this year, you can see the number of states. How many states is that? It's what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 maybe states that have already issued their proclamations. And I can't wait for you to hear about from our presenter here a little later from Wisconsin that boy, oh boy, Wisconsin is really trailblazing in the area of proclamations. And I don't say that to be mean. I just say that to hopefully have other states to follow suit. You will truly be amazed at what you see and hear from our presenter from Wisconsin. Next slide. You saw Tuesday again, theme of the week is driver education. This one's a really big and important one. We talked recently here just a little while ago, actually, during our executive leadership group meeting that Director Kehrli, Mark chairs. You know, the importance of reaching drivers even before they drive, okay? Young kids, 2, 3, 4 years old, to talk about driving, I guess, hazards and driving in general, to kind of plant the seed, if you will, to those young people, so that when later on when they get going and more so in their education, they'll remember the point was made. They'll remember some of the points that we as parents and brothers and sisters, uncles, aunts and uncles, grandparents, etc., share with them, and hopefully it stays in their minds, and they become better drivers because of that. So next slide. Wednesday, of course, responder training. You've heard already, and you see right here We've actually trained over 820,000 thus far since the summer of 2012. Yes, we still have a goal to train over 1 million, at least 1 million, but well over 1 million. And we need your help. The TIM training is one of the vehicles that we most encourage and promote here at Federal Highway. But all of you, actually all 50 states, DC and Puerto Rico, should be proud. Pat yourselves on the back because of the work that you continue to do to reach responders in your state locally, as well as, remotely in your state, rural, and not only in person, by the way, but also through respondersafety.com's online course. They have a TIM certificate. If you didn't know, go on to Emergency Responder Safety Institute or respondersafety.com and you'll see it. And of course, the training on our federal highway, the National Highway Institute. And I dare say that the responder course at NHI is the hottest course in the course catalog. And we are so proud of the National Highway Institute, Stacy Caston, Rashonda Sterling, and Lauren Harrington for their great work over at the National Highway Institute. So take advantage of the training. It's free, always has been free, and continues to be free. And keep training. For Thursday, it's next slide. More than a crash. It's more than a crash, right? Crashes obviously happen every minute of the day across this land, day or night. And but there are other types of incidents, whether it's debris on the road, medical emergencies, even police writing enforcement citations on the side of the road day and night, along with those towers that are out there recovering vehicles. They're very much at risk, and we would like the states, all of you, to do as much as you can to promote the fact that traffic incident management involves more than a crash. And you notice I don't say accident. Don't forget, we do not say accident, because if it was an accident, it wouldn't have happened, really. It was a decision made by a motorist to drink. It was a decision made by a motorist to use drugs. It was a decision by a motorist to be distracted on their phone and then crash, hurt themselves, or worse yet, kill themselves and or a fellow motorist. Next slide. Friday, back to slow down, move over. We've been talking a lot about slow down, move over. You're going to hear more about it. There's several efforts on the way to hopefully maybe work on getting the laws across this land, all 50 states, and the District of Columbia's slow down, move over laws. Let's just say, I won't say standardized at this point, because there's a lot of work involved to standardize move over laws with legislation and whatnot. They're different in most states. States like Maryland is for one state that recently, I want to say about 3 years ago, included motorists on the side of the road to move over for motorists when you see motorists. So police, tow trucks, fire, rescue, transportation for sure. But even when you see a motorist on the side of the road stranded day or night, changing a tire, or somehow disabled, we should think of their safety and slow down for sure as much as you can, and move over if there's space in the lane next to you. So thank you for that. Next slide. With that, I'd like to introduce Lieutenant Patrick Tepp, who's the Deputy Commander, 3rd District, Montgomery County Department of Police. in Silver Spring, Maryland. And with that, Lieutenant.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lieutenant Pat Kepp. I am currently the Deputy Commander of our 3rd District in Silver Spring for the Montgomery County, Maryland Police Department. And I've been asked to of 2023. I'll give a little bit more background. Prior to being promoted lieutenant, which was only about 6 weeks ago, I was before that in charge of our drone unit, and then even before that, I spent just about 7 years in total in our alcohol initiatives unit within our traffic operations division, doing traffic enforcement. So my job was to go out every night from Wednesday to Saturday and find possible impaired drivers and make the arrest. So in 2023, about May of 2023, we encountered a dangerous driver who was routinely baiting the police, speeding, and trying to bait us into chases, and really was just a menace on the roadways and was going to hurt or kill someone. So on October 18th of 2023, I was out on I-270, which is a major thoroughfare between Washington, D.C. and Frederick, Maryland. That driver began his dangerous driving actions again, speeding by me on a traffic stop where I was arresting an impaired driver, revving his engine and speeding. So later that night, came up with a plan to try to stop that driver. And in the process of doing that, I was intentionally struck on the side of the roadway on 270 in Gaithersburg by that driver who was going over 162 miles an hour as I was on the side of the road trying to lay out stop sticks to stop him. As a result of that crash, I lost portions of both of my legs, spent 59 days at University of Maryland Shock Trauma Center in Baltimore before fortunately being transferred down to Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Bethesda here in Montgomery County, where I completed my rehab and ultimately went back home in July of last year. So obviously that struck incident was a huge toll, not only on me, on my family, on the department here in Montgomery County, and really on the whole state of Maryland and the support network that I had. Fortunately, in July of 2024, I was able to come back to work in a light duty capacity, helping to teach in the alcohol initiatives unit with our recruits at the academy, both standardized field sobriety testing and the drug recognition expert program, DRE program, and really trying to pioneer traffic safety in Montgomery County, Maryland, and up and down the East Coast. Then ultimately, I was able to come back to the road and continue my work full time, back in full duty as a law enforcement officer, really in the beginning of this year of 2025, to come back on the road and continue traffic enforcement, keeping our roadways safe. Separate from that, just a little bit back about me and the impact on life in general. I'm a football official, college football Division I in the Coastal Ivy Patriot. So I was a line judge on the field. Unfortunately, haven't been able to make it back to that position, but I'm in the replay booth and hope to make it back onto the field next year. So these incidents of struck bys, whether it's in an act that is it's not an accident, it's a crash, it's a collision, or whether it's an intentional act, certainly have a huge impact, as we all know, on both the individual who's involved in it, the community as a whole, and really across the country. Fortunately, there are many good things that have come from my incident, and one of those was one of those things is one of the law changes that we got across the finish line in 2023. We couldn't get it across, or 24, we couldn't get it across the finish line, but in 2025, I was fortunate enough to have both local council members here within Montgomery County, state legislators, and Governor Wes Moore for Maryland support for what was named after me, the Sergeant Patrick Kepp Act, which took effect in October of 2025, which strengthens the penalties for aggressive, negligent, and reckless driving in the state of Maryland, ultimately making reckless driving the biggest impact and change to make that an incarcerable offense that causes, instead of, for example, if someone were going 95 and a 55, that would have been a prepayable citation previously, $530, some points on your license if you plead guilty to it, and on your way you go. And now we've gotten that change, so it requires that person to appear in court, to potentially have someone go in front of a judge, have some sort of probation, have some sort of education And then ultimately possibility, if the need exists, to have them face some jail time for those actions that they take. So a lot of positives that came out of that with those law changes, and thanks to the huge support that we've had from all the different advocacy groups, the legislators throughout the state, and my support network with family, friends, and law enforcement to make that happen. We still have some work to do. Still have some law changes that need to there's some laws that need to be amended, and things that need to close some loopholes and things like that. And that's the work for 2026. But I'm very grateful for the opportunity here today to share my story, share the impacts of these dangerous driving behaviors when we're out when all first responders and other responders are out on the side of the roadways, trying to do their job and trying to be safe, to champion that safety here through this webinar and all the events that happened during the crash or the first responder week this week. So I'm thankful to be here and for the opportunity to share my story with you all. So thank you.
Lieutenant Cap, thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for your service in keeping all road users safe. Lieutenant Cap's responder struck by incident is why we have Crash Responder Safety Week, to keep our traffic incident responders safe. Next up is Todd Lice, a decorated responder with roles in dispatch, EMS, firefighting, and hazmat. He retired as a TIM coordinator from the Pennsylvania Turnpike Authority and is now the Deputy Director of Training at the Emergency Responder Safety Institute and founder of the Tim Heroes Incorporated. Todd champions responder safety and has earned multiple state and national awards for his service. Welcome, Todd.
Thank you, Mark. Charlie, if you want to bring up my slides, we'll get going. Next slide. Next slide again. So we're going to talk about struck by numbers as we go through here. This is my background. I've been a volunteer firefighter since 1982, an EMT, hazmat team member, 911 operator, and a man of many hats. So Tom Martin will be proud of me for the man of many hats. I currently serve as the first vice president for Cumberland Valley Volunteer Firefighter Association, which is the parent organization of ResponderSafety.com. So go ahead, next slide. So let's talk numbers and let's talk the human cost and the system cost. Obviously, the human cost are the injuries and fatalities. The lieutenant mentioned, his fight to come back, and that his story is an awesome story on all he fought through. But I'm sure he still has those physical, emotional traumas from that, the medical expenses, and all the fight to get back to where we need to be. So we have those human costs and we have those systems costs as we look at these struck by numbers and these struck by crashes, congestion delays, emergency resources. And we have to look at those and how do we track those numbers? So we can't manage what we don't measure. So you can't fix what you don't see. So we have to have a method of doing this. So next slide. These are the emergency responders that have been struck and killed in 2025, 30 emergency responders. The emergency responders that have the red sash across there are emergency responders that have been struck and killed since September 19th. We've had 12 responders struck and killed since September 6th. So while we have less responders this year, those numbers are increasing in the past couple of months. So we need to keep working. They're not just people. As the lieutenant, again, very eloquently said, he wants to get back to doing Division I refereeing and get back. And we're so much more than what our responder discipline is. Okay, we're so much more than just a police officer, a firefighter, a tow truck operator. We're members of the community and we have families. So next slide. This is a map that I make up and I update this every time responders struck and killed. So this map represents the responders struck and killed in the United States since 2015. Okay, there's some that may be earlier, but look at your area of the country and look at how many responders. The yellow is tow truck operators, the blue is police officers, red is firefighters. So there's no one discipline that is immune. If you go to respondersafety.com and find this map there and click on the icon, it brings up a picture of them, brings up a news article and talks about who that responder is. So go ahead, next slide or next click. So again, we've had 330 United States emergency responders struck and killed since 2019, and that's thousands of emergency responders seriously injured every year. So even if we don't have the number of fatalities we've had the prior years, we still have so many responders getting seriously injured. We also have tens of thousands of unreported struck by incidents that we never hear about. You know, if it's not newsworthy, and lately even the fatalities aren't necessarily newsworthy to the news, so we have to find a way to get that message out there and find out those near misses. Go ahead, next slide. And also the thousands of struck by incidents of emergency responder vehicles. So again, cost of a tow truck, a rotator tow truck, not 900,000 to $1 million. A rollback, it's 167,000. May make their livelihood. Cost of a police car, maybe $70,000. So what about those that we need to track and try to find those economic impact dollars, which goes into billions of dollars every year? Next slide. Again, not acceptable here. Yep. Okay. So I took some of those numbers and we looked at these and we said, what were you doing when these incidents occurred? So 82 were helping a disabled or stranded motorist, and those are police officers, firefighters, or even tow operators. 63 were at prior crash scene. So we're working a crash scene that we think we have safety set up for, and we get struck and struck and killed. And these are just the line of duty death since then to 297 fatalities. Conducting a traffic stop, 22. Deploying stop sticks, which is a very dangerous, hazardous situation because you have the intentional struck bys, the vehicle assaults, 11 of the vehicle assaults, and then removing debris from the roadway. Also, a huge issue is something that we have there. That's why we're looking at technology. So just taking the federal highway or the value of statistical life that we use from the US DOT for last year, taking those new 297 fatalities, and if you add in that just the cost of those value of statistical life, it's over $4 billion of economic impact damage. So if you don't care about the numbers, think about that $4 billion of economic impact number. Next slide. So again, what challenges do we have? We're trying to find a way to track these struck by databases, but we still don't have a good method. So, we have some areas that we have some good reporting, and we have a struck by database on respondersafety.com. It's www.reportstruckby, but it's a voluntary database. So we need to track the fire, law enforcement, EMS, DOT. That's our single database, and we work with Federal Highway on that, and it's a great database to track this, but we're still not getting all the struck bys that occur. We underreport and inconsistent, and we don't have unified data. So we need to bring that unified data in to identify those patterns that are hidden and remain at risk. Next slide. So again, we're working on some projects, and one of the projects we're working on through Responder Safety in Cumberland Valley is a pilot project that we're hoping to do in Pennsylvania that involves looking at the data and bringing in official data as well as unofficial data and connecting all that fragmented data so that we have a national view. Go ahead, next slide. So right now we're doing this and we're looking at standardized data fields. We're looking at human and economic cost and multi-agency integration. So that will help us with training, technology, and public awareness. Go ahead, next slide. So again, we take all those official data sources, feed them in, and get a unified dashboard, and we look at these totals. We're able to build a better picture of what we could do to try to keep our responders safe on the roadway. Next slide. You go ahead, next slide, because that's a repeat of the one I had in there. So look at this case study. This was a local call in Pennsylvania that involved that fire truck being struck as they were getting ready to clear the scene. And if you look at the economic impact of this, that fire truck, you see it's heavily damaged. And the total cost of this, 6 firefighters injured, 2 fire vehicles struck, $1.3 million of economic impact damage. So go ahead, next slide. We've got to look at this. So again, lessons learned that we have here is that, it's not good enough. So we have direct costs, we have indirect costs, we have equipment damage, and what's the recovery? This fire truck cost them 2.5 years to replace. It had over $150,000 worth of damage to it, but it took them a while to get it replaced. So they had to use a mutual aid company. They borrowed a fire truck, but that's not acceptable. We have to do this. So we have to look at the personnel injuries. We have to look at the equipment damage. We have to look at the operational impact and the recovery cost. What's it cost for that? And as we go through here, and from this tool that we're developing, then we're able to get any kind of safety integration as well. And we're also being able to get some training recommendations and enhancements. And one of those things is, did we have TIM training in the area where the struck by occurred? Next slide. And I'm just giving you a couple real quick case studies just to show you what we're trying to do here. This was a police car that occurred in a police department vehicle that there was no damages, but it still has economic impact and direct cost and indirect cost for this. $250,000 or $750,000 almost in indirect cost for this, or for economic impact costs. The direct cost, what's the user delay for those sitting in traffic? What's the direct cost for that replacement of that police car? What's the societal cost for all the things that we do for this? If that's a small police department that only has one or two police cars and now one of them's out of service, how does that impact the safety for your responders everywhere? Go ahead, next slide. Again, prevention is cost effective. Obviously, if I spend a little bit of money to use debris clearing devices like Debris Clear or one of the debris clear devices out there, or a digital alerting, it's going to save in the long run. We also got to make sure that we're giving out information about the move over law and public awareness. So with this tool, it will also identify training that we could do, technology that we could do, any public awareness message that gives you automatically as well. Next slide. Call to action, report the incidents, just report struck by. So that QR code goes to report struck by. We need you to put the information in there. Okay. It's helpful for us so we can get a big picture. We've had a lot of incidents reported right now. Most of them are reported in Pennsylvania, or a lot of the ones are reported in Pennsylvania just because we push that message out there quite often. So go ahead, next slide. Closing tribute, every number is a name, okay? Every name deserves action. So it's not just a number. They are people, they are friends, our family, our community. So please try to make sure that we're protecting them as much as possible. So thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Let us all take a moment of silence now for our incident responders who have paid the ultimate price. Our final speaker today is Ann Rashadi. Ann is the Director of the Bureau of Transportation Traffic Operations at the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. Ann has been with Wisconsin DOT for over 30 years. She formerly served with the Wisconsin DOT Southeast Region TIM Engineer and the statewide TIM Engineer. Ann has a BS in Civil Engineering from the University of Wisconsin at Milwaukee. We invite Ann to our national webinar today to share her significant milestones for Wisconsin DOT related to TIM and Crash Responder Safety Week. Over to you, Ann.
Thank you, Mark. Very pleased to be here today to talk briefly about 30 years of TIM successes in Wisconsin. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, so our traffic incident management program has been in existence since 1995. WisDOT initiated the program in the southeast area of the state, which is the Milwaukee area. It later expanded to a statewide program in 2006. Next slide, please. We have actually been training first responders in Wisconsin since 2010. Since 2016, TIM training has been part of the 720-hour Law Enforcement Recruit Academy curriculum. On an annual basis, the WisDOT Time program supports approximately 75 TIM training sessions. TIM training has been conducted in all of Wisconsin's 72 counties. Our instruction is conducted by a dedicated group of volunteer instructors. In Wisconsin, we are fortunate to have over 100 volunteer instructors from various disciplines and support from their respective organizations. Next slide. Since the first Crash Responder Safety Week in 2015, Wisconsin has seen a 5-fold increase in the number of first responders trained in TIM. 2025 is on track to see the largest annual increase of first responders trained since 2015. Next slide. No, next slide. Thank you. We have an internal goal of training 70% of first responders in 2026 and 75% by 2027. Next slide. The Wisconsin Time Coalition was established by WisDOT in 2010 and is a unified group of associations, organizations, and supporters of responders to traffic incidents that meets quarterly. All coalition partners and supporters share the common goal to enhance the safety of all responders. The coalition believes that through outreach, education, they can improve the safety, knowledge, and mobility of the traveling public on roadways in Wisconsin. Next slide. On these next few slides, I will highlight some of the planned initiatives for Crash Responder Week this year. Next slide. The struck by incident data on the right side of the slide is from Wisconsin in the last year, showing one fatality for approximately 22 incidents. Over the past 5 years, 73 emergency responders were struck while working along Wisconsin roads. Across this country in the last 5 years, we have lost 93 towing and recovery personnel in struck by vehicle incidents. On December 24th of last year, a tower was struck and killed on I-94 about 30 miles to the west of Milwaukee while loading a disabled vehicle. It was a hit and run incident with the driver, and the driver was later apprehended. Then going back to June of 2020, a private tow driver under contract with the department to provide freeway service team services was killed while removing debris. This was also a hit and run incident involving a semi, and this driver was eventually apprehended as well. Wisconsin has had a move over law since 2001 to help roadside workers, help the safety of roadside workers. When there are 2 or more travel lanes in the same direction, the law requires drivers to move out of the lane closest to the stop law enforcement vehicle, ambulance, fire truck, tow trucks, utility, or highway maintenance vehicles that have their warning lights activated. If a driver is unable to move over or travel or is traveling on a single lane roadway, they must slow down. Wisconsin further enhanced protections for emergency responders in December of 2021 when Act 115 was signed into law. The law creates an emergency response area within 500 feet of an authorized emergency vehicle with lights on. Handheld cell phone use is banned, and penalties for certain violations double in the emergency areas. We have been using social media to spread awareness through the use of telling first responder stories. Next slide. In Wisconsin, we outsource our highway maintenance to our 72 counties. In April of 2024, a worker with the La Crosse County Highway Department in western Wisconsin was in a dump truck hauling a trailer-mounted crash attenuator with an aero board, providing traffic control for maintenance activities, when a pickup truck crashed into the trailer from behind at freeway speeds. The posted speed limit is 70 miles per hour. The worker survived, sustaining minor injuries. Can you play the video, please? We in Wisconsin DOT started recording all of our cameras in 2007 on a 72-hour loop to aid in after action reviews and first responder training. We currently have just over 500 cameras in Wisconsin. Next slide. In downtown Milwaukee, one of our bridges, the Hone Bridge, has decorative lighting. During Crash Responder Week, first responders from across southeastern Wisconsin are invited to a spot near the bridge for photo opportunities. Every evening this week, the bridge will be lit different colors to recognize the various disciplines. Tonight, it will be yellow to honor towing and recovery. Tuesday, it will be blue for law enforcement. Wednesday, it will be red and white for fire and EMS. Thursday, it will be orange and green for highway departments. Friday, it will be gold for public safety communications. Next slide. Every year since 2016, our governor has issued a proclamation for Crash Responder Safety Week. In 2023, the National Operations Center of Excellence requested that states expand their proclamations to municipalities and counties. Green Bay, Wisconsin, home of the Packers, became the first municipality in the country to issue a proclamation. Last year, we had 17 municipalities and 5 counties issue proclamations. Again, this year, we sent emails to mayors from the top 25 cities in Wisconsin with the highest population seeking support of Crash Responder Safety Week via a proclamation. 20 have committed. Emails were also sent to county government leadership in all 72 counties asking for similar support. 25 have committed. Next slide. This very busy slide, contains an example of the email sent to the counties as well as a sample proclamation. The email includes links to FHWA, the National Operations Center of Excellence, and provides each county their crash data from the previous year. Next slide, please. In Wisconsin, we're very proud of our long history in TIM, and we want to make sure all of our first responders, no matter the discipline, go home safe every night. And I look forward to continuing our TIM efforts in Wisconsin. Thank you.
And congratulations to the Wisconsin Traffic Incident Management and Enhancement, the TIM program's 30th anniversary. And congratulations on the successful engagement of the 25 governments and 20 mayors to issue Crash Responder Safety Week proclamations, and through their issuance bring attention to responder and road user safety. What a great model for promoting responder and road user safety on our state and local roads. Really great job, Ann. It's fabulous. We now come to the virtual proclamation signing of our role in the webinar. Up next is the invitation by our modal administrators to sign the National Crash Responder Safety Week proclamation. Executive. Executives from 16 organizations have already signed the virtual proclamation. Now it's your turn. In the chat pod is the Menti link, in case you missed it earlier. The virtual proclamation remains live in the webinar for the next few minutes. It will continue to be live for this whole week. Get your family, friends, colleagues, executives, and staff to sign this virtual proclamation using the link shared in the chat pod. Before handing off to Kevin Vita for a brief no-quote message, we want to thank a few individuals. First, Administrator McMaster of FHWA and the FHWA Office of Public Affairs. Our speakers, Lieutenant Kep, Todd Leiss, and Ann Rashadi. Next, the TIM Executive Leadership Group members, associations who have signed the virtual proclamation and have been advancing traffic incident management policy strategies and technologies through their respective spheres of influence for over a decade. Every individual who attended and contributed their expertise for Crash Responder Safety Week All States Planning webinars. And Jim Ostrich, our FHWA TIM Program Manager, and David Johnson, the Managing Disruptions to Operations Team Leader for Champion Crash Responder Safety Week events. And our support team members, Vishali Shah with AEM Corporation and Kevin Vito with the National Operations Center of Excellence. Keep adding your name to the Crash Responder Safety Week virtual proclamation. Now over to you, Kevin.
Thank you, Mark. And thank everyone for joining us today. The National Operations Center of Excellence is honored to support Crash Responder Safety Week. One way we hope to recognize your organization's CRSW actions is to become a CRSW ally in action. We ask organizations to upload your association logo and spotlight what your organization is doing during Crash Responder Safety Week to promote responder and road user safety. We would also love your organization to share your content, whether a local or state proclamation, a flyer, a video you created, or a website link that features your CRSW message. Please consider becoming a CRSW ally in action. We also want to recognize the following organizations that are already CRSW allies in action, as shown on the next slide. Thank you, Mark, Jim, the FHWA Office of Operations and Public Affairs, and the CRSW National Planning Committee for making it easy for responders to promote CRSW through social media and locally within your communities. In addition to the FHWA CRSW page, please visit the NOCO CRSW page for additional resources. And if you have any questions regarding CRSW or broader traffic incident management tools or techniques, please reach out to Jim Ostrich, FHWA Traffic Incident Management Program Manager. I should include his email link shortly. Thank you all again for joining us. Please sign the proclamation, and we hope you have a great rest of Crash Responder Safety Week.